This episode is brought to you by Naked Fake Soap. Shop over a dozen handcrafted artisan soaps locally sourced and made in Arizona using the finest non-toxic intentional ingredients. Naked Fake Soap also offers facial care products along with accessories like soap dishes, soap saver bags, and more.
Visit their website at nakedfakesoap.com and use code DRUMMINGUP, all one word, for 20% off online orders. And that is the best place to find her now.
Yes.
She doesn't really have a storefront so much as she has
As of right now.
Yeah, as of right now,
Yes.
she has her products in certain locations,
Yes.
which again is the best place to find her is at her nakedfakesoap.com website.
Yes.
Or her socials. Instagram is a great spot to find her. Ask her any questions where she's going to be at like a farmer's market.
Yes.
You can find all that out. Or
But coming up, she's
Yeah.
moving to bigger and better opportunities.
Yes, absolutely. And we're very happy to hear that because,
Yes.
we just want to
She's
make
one
sure
of our
she's doing
favorite,
okay.
favorite companies.
Oh, yeah. Whenever we're getting low, we always place our order.
Yes.
And again, use that code drumming up,
Yes.
all one word, to get that 20% off discount.
For sure.
Nakedfakesoap.com. It'll be in the show notes. We'll have her website. And then the best thing to do is from the website, go find her socials, follow her. That helps her. And by you doing that, it helps us because we know you're listening and we know you're buying her great products. She also offers tattoo care and everything too.
Yes,
so
she does.
just a ton of stuff that she does. It's all locally made and everything. So what was that website again?
That is nakedfigsoap.com.
Using code drumming
Drumming
up,
Up.
all one word, for 20% off at checkout.
Hi there, this is Julian of Gorad, and you are listening to Drumming Up Conversation. Hell yeah.
Drumming up conversation. Drumming up, yeah. Drumming up, yeah. Drumming up, yeah. Conversation. Drumming up, yeah. Drumming up, yeah. Drumming up, yeah. Conversation. Drumming up, yeah. Drumming up, yeah. Drumming up, yeah. Conversation. Drumming up, yeah. Drumming up, yeah. Drumming up, yeah. Conversation. Yeah.
Hey, this is Jeff Bowders, and you are watching the Drumming Up Conversation podcast.
Hello and welcome to Drumming Up Conversation. I'm Justin Wood.
I'm Andrea Wood. Intro and outro music is provided by Arizona prog metal band Temporal Displacement. You can find their music anywhere you listen to your favorite music. You can email us at drummingupconversation@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Drumming Up Conversation, and on X, Drum Conversing. You can listen to our audio version on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. You can watch our video version on YouTube. Don't forget to do all the good things like, subscribe, rate, review, tell a friend, 5 stars. Thank you.
Yeah. Yep. And the prize pack giveaway was a lot of fun doing that. Last week was the last week we did it. It was a lot of fun. It's been fun working with Eddie. He's still sending us guests and stuff, which is really cool.
And anybody that likes coffee, check out his coffee. It's really, really good.
Yeah. 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 He
We
sent
just
us.
ordered more.
We just ordered more. He's making one that's specifically for cold brew too. So I'm really excited to try that.
Yeah, because I wonder how much more flavorful that will be than
yeah.
just the regular coffee that we turn into cold brew. So super
Yeah.
excited for that.
Yeah. That's really cool. So the packaging's really cool on it. And we ordered one that Dave Shelton was in on, one of his characters, because we're going to have him on soon. And we ordered the newest one that has the cold brew with it. So we're really excited about those, and we should get those this week, I think.
Cool.
But yeah, so excuse me, really, really cool. His stuff's amazing. And he sent us a bag originally when we first had him on. And it was really cool. I'm like, oh, this is really, really good. And got some cool stickers that we got to put on our cups and all that. So yeah, a lot of fun. And I'm excited when it cools down to have some hot one as well,
coffee,
which
yes.
probably just get some and take it up with us when we go to Flagstaff too.
Because I
Brew it
love
there.
a good cup of
If it's
hot
up
coffee.
there, October, it's gonna be nice. Be coffee weather. So
Yep.
But today we have someone that's going to be a lot of fun, a topic I don't think we have covered yet. We're having a psychic medium on. Her name is Kelly Kristin, and it'll be a lot of fun. Ask some questions. She works with like police and stuff like that, and helping solve crimes. And I'm pretty sure she can open up on one or two things with that, which will be a lot of fun. And just talk about how that works and everything, because it's something like I know of, but I've never really delved into.
Right.
So, but yeah, so I'm really, really, really looking forward to that. Learn about that. Other than that, we don't have much going on right now as far as events we're doing, which I guess is good. We're more in the guest mode right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think by the time this airs, though, it might be getting close to Gathering of the Ghouls.
Mm-hmm.
So doing the
Yeah.
math on it, and we'll probably be a week or two away from that at this point.
Yeah.
So
That's
definitely
always a
be
good time.
always a good time. Yeah, yeah. We kind of really got us into like the horror community.
Mm-hmm.
Was doing that and going to Terror Trader and all that. Spooky Swirls, obviously. Spooky Swirls was like the middle of a lot of stuff. Yeah, because they got us to even know about it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, are you guys going to the event? What event? One across the street. What? Oh, like, oh, didn't even know that was there. Cool.
What event across the street?
Because I tried to avoid that area for a while because the only thing there was the fries I'm not a big fan of, and just chain restaurants and stuff. So we just never went over there, and it's just tucked in a corner. And since then, we've gotten a great relationship with them. And then if it wasn't for Spooky Swirls too, we would have probably not gotten in touch with Matt and all them at
Oh yeah, for sure.
Fear
Yeah.
Frontier and all
Yeah.
that. And
Now
good,
your best
we're
friend.
best friends. And yeah, we're always sending stuff like send each other ideas and stuff
Mhm.
like that. So yeah, a lot of fun. We're very happy with all the connections we made, and Spooky Swirls was a big part of that. And just the spooky community has been fun.
Mm-hmm.
So
And this ties right into
this
it.
ties right into it,
Yep.
yeah, with all that. So, but
Awesome.
yeah, yeah, very cool. So, all right. So today we're joined by Kelly Kristin. She's a psychic medium and founder of Third Eye Sleuth. How are you doing today?
Oh, good. Thank you so much for having me
Well,
Of
on.
thanks
course.
for being
Yeah, thanks for
on
being on here. So,
a Sunday.
Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, where did you grow up?
Ah, um, I grew up in California
Okay.
actually, and like right in the Central Valley, little tiny
Where at?
town. Well, I was born in Bakersfield.
That's 2 days in a row.
You?
I
Or
wasn't born in Bakersfield, but most of my family was in Bakersfield, still is in Bakersfield. I lived in Wasco,
oh
so about
yeah,
28 miles out. Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Interesting.
so born and raised there and then moved to Visalia.
Okay. I love Visalia.
Yep, the gateway to the Sequoias, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
And then yeah. Yeah.
And where are you located now?
So now I just moved to Washington,
Okay.
like in September, which I
Okay.
love. Big
Mhm.
difference,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it's like super cold outside right now. And in
yeah.
Bakersfield, or Visalia, I'd be, wearing shorts because it'd be
Yeah.
105.
Bakersfield also. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why it was so easy for me to adjust to weather here in Arizona because Kern County's the same thing.
Yep.
Yep.
Although Flagstaff's a lot like Washington, more
Yes.
or less,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
More
Yeah.
cloudy and
That's
rainy, and yeah.
the one amazing thing about Arizona. We can go, 200 miles in any direction and a complete weather change.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. It's amazing.
And you'll be at the Flagstaff event, so you'll get to witness some
Yeah.
of that if you've
Have
never
you ever
been there
been to
before.
Flagstaff?
I love
Oh,
Yes.
Flagstaff.
okay. Yeah.
Flagstaff's amazing.
Kind of
Yeah.
hard to get to, but I love it.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
flying in, it's like not
Yeah.
close to anything, but yeah,
Yeah.
amazing town.
Yeah. It's a
Nice.
lot of fun there. How old were you when you realized you had a psychic ability?
Yeah, so old, for a lot of years, something's going on,
Mhm.
right? But you don't know exactly what it is.
Mhm.
Or, you don't really pay attention. And so, I was older before I guess I had a name for it.
Mhm.
Yeah. So like in my late 40s,
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the first thing that happened that you realized, oh, this is psychic?
Uh, well, I'm a former teacher, so
Okay.
I always, how you can always kind of read the kids, right? And I just thought like everybody, I mean, most teachers can do that anyway,
Mhm.
but then there were some other things that you kind of can't explain. But I always knew that, but I just didn't know what to call it. And so probably actually like during COVID, a lot of things changed teaching wise. And so I had some extra, not extra time, but it was a weird time, right?
Mhm.
So I started kind of investigating, going deeper into, what is this called? What is this that I can do? Or, can everybody do it? And I do believe everybody can.
Mm.
Um, so I think I just kind of did a lot of soul searching then during that time.
And what did you teach?
Well, I've taught a ton of things. I was a teacher for 30 years, so I've
Mhm.
taught everything from first grade, fourth grade. I taught, seventh grade English, and I went back and got a special ed credential. And then the end of my career, I taught in like juvenile hall,
Mhm.
court schools, expulsion schools, military academies, this kind of thing.
Okay.
So just
Nice.
about everything.
Yeah.
Now, do you get psychic information every time you meet someone, or does it vary?
That's a really good question. I try not to, right? I try to kind of like, shut it off. And for most of the time, that's pretty easy.
Mhm.
Um, so sometimes though, when you meet somebody and you just kind of like, oh, either way, ooh,
Yeah.
something feels off, or ooh, I really like this person. I like being in their energy. I can tell they're this, that, or the other thing.
Mhm.
Um, but I guess like I feel like I have, ADD sometimes when it comes to these things because I'm paying attention to everything and then nothing,
Mhm.
Mhm.
So um, I do recognize like when I feel that, something about someone that I meet, but I don't try to be nosy about it and try to investigate, hey, what is that person about?
Mhm.
Without the permission. Yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And what is case file method?
Oh, so it's just a system, we teachers love those acronyms, right?
Mm.
So a system that I designed to help other psychic mediums learn how to do psychic investigation.
Okay.
Uh, and each letter stands for something. So, the first C is case intake. So when you get a case, what you do. The A is for arsenal, what's in your, toolbox that you can use. Um, the S is the surveillance part of it, which is really just like the remote viewing, um, things like that. And then the E is the evidence that you gather, documenting that, and so on. So
Okay.
that's pretty much, yeah.
Gotcha.
The files part is actually working with the families.
Okay.
So how to deal with the families, how to talk about uh, things like grief, loss, um, hard conversations, and just mostly supporting them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
How do you first connect with the spirit during a session or helping a family?
So are you talking about in psychic investigation or doing a like mediumship reading?
Well, let's start with the investigation.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Well, so psychic is, reading the person or picking up on the energy of the person alive or past. Mediumship can come into an investigation where spirit might attempt to help, or you might get, do a reading where we're working with the family. But how did we, sorry, can you repeat the question one more time? I want to make sure I have it
Um,
correct.
how do you first connect with the spirit?
So, okay, so that's what I was going to say. So, it's not all the time that spirit works with you on a case.
Okay.
So, you will hear like sometimes psychics who um, will randomly get information, like they'll have a dream or something,
Right.
and they'll be in a area where they see experience something,
Hmm.
and then sometimes though when you're working with the family, they contact you, so it's a little bit different because they're the ones to initiate it, not the person in spirit.
Not
That
like on
makes sense.
TV.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean it can be, but
Okay.
generally when the family comes to you, they're the ones initiating it.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. And there was a second one too as well.
Oh, and well, I was asking, starting with the
Investigate.
investigations, and then just as a medium, how do you connect with a spirit?
Yeah. So that's, a little bit different. So again, the person's initiating the reading, right? But I believe in doing soul reading, soul to soul reading. I like to connect with my sitter first. So that'll be the person who booked the reading. And asking them to invite in whomever they believe to be on their team. So angels, guides, loved ones in spirit, God, whomever they believe. And then I like us both to try to invite in spirit. I feel like it makes it stronger. And that's kind of when someone will step in for me, and then we kind of go, from there. And whoever comes in, then I do the translating for them.
How long are your readings usually?
Um, well, I always go over. That's why I'm hesitating.
Hmm.
45 minutes usually.
Okay.
Yeah. But
And that gives you enough time to fully connect with everything.
mhm, yeah. Yeah, it sure does. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes, like I say, I go over. I like keep talking and
Has
have
there
more
been
to talk.
a time that you've had someone come in and just there's just no connection whatsoever?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely. And
What do
so,
you do in instances like that?
so a couple of things. I will just say, I'm like so sorry, but just not happening today. And I will either give them a choice of a refund or we will reschedule. And I like 9 times out of 10, that second session, is magical. It just works
Mhm.
for some reason. But there are times when I just can't. Um, so I also will recommend other people that I know, other psychic mediums that I know that I think can maybe help that person.
Is it something maybe they were nervous or just they bringing a different energy in and just was tough to read it?
Um, Sometimes, and
Okay.
sometimes they maybe don't know how to take the information or they can't validate it. Or a lot of times people will come and they'll say, nope, I don't know what you're talking about. But then afterwards they go, oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot that. And so really it was a validation, but they just couldn't take it at that time. That happens sometimes, but usually the reading will continue and then later they'll remember that. But sometimes yeah, sometimes it's just a lot of times it'll be with people who aren't really open to it, but want to come anyway, right? So the second time they're a little bit more open, or they're not as afraid or, you know, worried about what might happen. So they're more comfortable.
Yeah, that makes sense too. They
Yeah,
might be like, well, I'm not sure how this is going to go and just, bring something and yeah, they just don't they're overthinking things and then yeah, I can see that later on like, you know what? That actually made sense when I left. I just in the moment didn't think about it and
right.
yeah, so that's cool. That has to feel good too, knowing that there's a chance later on that I will get them to reach out to me and say, you know what, actually I forgot about this, and it turns out yeah there was a lot of truth to that, and so that makes a lot of sense now. And
Yeah.
What do you do to prep before
Before,
before you do like a reading for someone? Are there any like ritual type things that you do like to protect yourself especially?
um, so yeah, I have to like sit for a while, just kind of, I have an office, so I kind of sit in my office and just kind of clear my head, maybe light a candle, this kind of thing. Get into that headspace, if you will, or heart space. Um, I always believe in working with the light, and I've really never had any bad experiences. But I also do believe in protecting your energy anyway. So for me, a lot of it is I believe a lot of people connect using elements. So for me, it's water. So anything water, drinking a lot of water, going swimming or taking a shower, anything, listening to water, anything like that. Some people, do breath work. Some people, fire or heat. Um, so uh, and earth, grounding, going, stepping down on the earth or going doing gardening or something with the earth. So for me, it's water.
Understand that. Yeah, mine's a lot of water too with relaxing and all that. So,
Mhm.
tell us about Third Eye Sleuth.
Yeah, so this is I've trained for a lot of years as a psychic investigator. And because of my teaching background, I love teaching other people how to do it. And I believe that, like I said in the beginning, everyone is psychic, whether they want to be or not. But they can learn. There's different, methods or techniques. So Third Eye Sleuth is my classes, my system. I have on-demand classes. I have live classes. I have, destination investigations where we're on at a location, doing an investigation, and then just helping um, people to figure out what their strengths are. So I show them all these things. Maybe I show them how to do forensic artwork or forensic astrology, remote viewing, and they're not going to like everything, but they're going to hopefully figure out that one of those is their superpower, right? So that
Mhm.
they know that that's one or two or three or however many, and that they can use this when they're doing psychic investigation work. Also, I'm a huge component on the family part of it as well. You have to know how to talk to families. You have to know how to have really hard conversations because, of course, you're going to have people who don't want to accept your answer, or they don't understand where they are in the grief process.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And being that I taught mostly at juvenile hall, I was trained for these kinds of hard conversations.
Mhm.
A lot of times you'll get someone that comes to you that, of course, can't accept that possibly their loved one died by their own hands. That is a hard conversation to have, but I've trained in that as a teacher, so I'm, I guess, comfortable saying these words and
Hmm.
talking to people about it.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure empathy is a big factor in that too. Is not just it's not just words. You're feeling the words you're saying is a big important thing to that as well. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of, I think, psychic mediums, I mean, I would too if I hadn't been, trained to do this. It's very
Mhm.
hard to have a
Yeah.
conversation,
Mhm.
you know?
Someone you don't know and you have to tell them this big news and have, invest in it as much as they're investing in the words you're saying, you're investing in the words you're giving them and
And
everything
not
you're
be
saying and not
mechanical.
be mechanical,
Yeah.
exactly robotic about it.
Right.
Yeah, so this happened, that you have to really feel what they're feeling saying it too, or they're just not going to believe you.
Right. And it's kind of the same thing in when you're doing mediumship, right? You want to deliver the message that's uplifting, right? You never want to crush somebody. So unfortunately, a lot of unpracticed mediums don't often deliver the message the way it is best received.
Hmm.
So it's learning how to do it as well.
What kind of cases have you worked on?
Um, Everything from missing animals to murder investigations, unsolved uh, deaths, missing people, a lot of missing people. Um, a lot of missing elderly that might have memory issues,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
I think those are actually kind of really hard. I don't know where all these people go, but
Yeah.
they are hard to find a lot of the times because it's almost like when you're, tuning in,
Mm.
there's it's like kind of a confused feeling. Like if they kind of don't know where they are, then
Oh,
you're trying to
right.
read like, where am I? What am I
Yeah.
seeing here?
Because they're
Uh,
not focused on what they're doing, so it's hard for you to focus on what they're doing to
yeah,
find them. Yeah. Yeah. No,
yeah,
That's
I get
interesting. I
that.
never had thought about it
Like a
that way.
labyrinth
Yeah.
almost
Yeah.
of okay, we're in this, are they? Because they don't even know where they're at, so it's hard to find.
or
Yeah,
yeah,
I've never thought of that. That's interesting. Yeah.
if they're trying to get to, they live somewhere now, but they're trying to get back to where they were,
Mhm.
where they lived, then they're thinking that. It's interesting. I'm trying to get better at that because there are so many people that go missing and they're just never found.
Are there any recent cases you're able to talk about?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. So I do have permission to speak about this case, and it's
Okay.
actually one of my last cases. So I'm very grateful that the family allowed me to speak about it. Uh, it was a case of a missing brother who went missing in February of this year, and we got the case in May of this year. So he'd been gone for about 3 months, and yeah, so with the help of the brother, who was fantastic, we were able to locate him in a canal, like an underground tunnel canal.
Okay.
So the so it just happened to be in a town that was near to where I lived in Visalia. So that really helped because I knew the location. I knew, and he would take pictures and he'd go to different places. And so it's so much easier to feel into, does that feel right? Is this location right? And because of his desire to really know and to continue to work through it, it was, I feel like a better connection with the family. And that really helped it as well. And so just by information that I got, and by the way, I also worked on this with a team that I work with as well.
Oh, cool.
So not just me, but we were able to get information that, that he could validate and let him know that, yeah, that's where his brother was, unfortunately. Yeah. So then he called the police and had them come, and they'd already been out there, but this time they used a drone and they were able to locate him in the tunnel.
Wow.
And so what pieces do you kind of use to like what was from starting to like let's say finding the person, what steps and what pieces of information do you use to get to the final result?
I always like to try to go in with the least information as possible. Sometimes the family will just, tell me everything. I'm like, stop, 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 but you can't unhear it. But
Yeah.
I try to just ask him for a photo, the name, last time seen, or date of passing, and location. And then I work on it. So kind of, I try to go in as blind as I can. And uh, go through whatever I get. I write it down, no matter how weird or how crazy. I do my sketching, and I am not a forensic artist, but I, write down stuff that hopefully will make sense later. And then I will then go with the family and see if any of this makes sense. And then go back again and again and again, as many times as I need to see if I can weed out some of the information that doesn't make sense. Usually on the second time I sit down, I kind of, believe it or not, forget what I put on the first time. And
Okay.
then so whatever kind of matches, I take that as a good hit. If something else, I'm like, oh, I wrote that the first time too. Okay, so that's important. Sometimes just speaking with the family when I'm getting validation, I can like feel like if that's an important kind of clue, if you will. Um, and like I say, this brother was amazing. He was very open, very honest, and it just made for a really good outcome. And not about his brother being
Yeah.
passed, but finding him, right?
Mhm.
They've
Yeah.
been searching for 3 months. And
Because
interestingly enough, like he actually is very psychic himself because he believed also he's working with his brother. And this is a guy that, didn't maybe believe in this before. So he felt his brother was really calling to him to find him. And so that's what happens a lot of times. Families will um, seek psychic mediums out as kind of a last resort when law enforcement's gone through everything they can do. Um, yeah, so that's kind of what happened this time.
yeah, because that's really the last stage of grief is what you're helping do. And so that's a very important part of it. And also, um, has there been times that like you've brought something to a family, like how did you even come to that? That's so like 100% on, and how did you arrive at this? Has there been that connection?
Well, another case I'm thinking about, a lot of times I get my information in dreams.
Okay.
So sometimes I'll either set the intent before I go to sleep to gather information. Sometimes it just comes. So um, another case I can think about, I I dreamt about a situation with a runaway teen,
Mhm.
right? That she was in her boyfriend's closet, like staying there, like when the mom went to work, she would come out, and then later found out that that was the case, that this is what she was doing. And then they'd already gone to the boyfriend. He said she wasn't there. I mean, that's like one instance I can think about. Other times it's kind of like fitting pieces in a puzzle. You might get something, and that's why it's also good to work with a team because you might all get something a little bit different, but when you put it together, it's like, oh, that's why I'm getting this and you're getting this. It's really the same thing and it means this,
Hmm.
if that makes sense. Yeah.
Do you always have to be on location or can you do this remotely?
Yeah. Remotely is mostly what I do. I was so bummed that that last case I had moved to Washington. Like that was right in my own backyard. But so really I don't work on location that much unless I'm working on something that nobody's asked me to do, right? I go somewhere and work on a case. Um, so I'm hoping to do more of that here in Washington. Yeah, on location. Yeah.
And what do you tell someone that is still maybe grieving, even though like it's been solved and everything? What do you usually tell them as far as to get through all that?
Yeah, I mean, that's really hard, right? It's
Hmm.
the grief process, as you know, is not linear. It's, up and down, back and forward. Um, that there's always a connection with your loved one, that it's not uh, that they continue to, live on, and that there are ways that they can feel that closeness or connection with their loved one. Sometimes, as we know, grief gets in the way, right? You're just so blocked in with your grief that you can't really feel it. So the more you relax or remember your loved ones, oftentimes you'll find stronger connection. Yeah. And then I think as we go on, uh, maybe as we accept it more, we don't really need that constant knowing that our loved one is okay, right? Because it's just the whole process of healing, right?
Times that law enforcement calls you in rather than families?
I do work with another team where that is the case, but not directly. It's an organization where law enforcement contacts them, and then they give us the case. I would love it. I actually was volunteer police, and that was not the case, where law enforcement rarely, not rarely works with psychic mediums because they do. It just isn't, you know. Advertised so much, but finding somebody that'll work with you. So where I lived before in Visalia, um, I'm just going to say law enforcement wasn't so open. So I am hoping here in Washington They will be more. Yeah.
Is there any profound message or message that just surprised you and just like really affected you from something on the other side?
Not related to psychic investigation, but I'm often surprised. It's like sometimes like it's probably not too professional, but when I get a message from spirit, I'll be like, "Oh my gosh, that's so cool,"
Yeah.
whatever the message is, right?
Mm.
One time, for about 6 months, I had a family that I didn't know was a family. So like I had one person and their grandmother named Nanny came through, right? And she's amazing. Nanny is like amazing. And then I'd have another person book a reading with me, but I didn't know that they were related. And here comes Nanny again. I'm like, holy cow. I'm like, and you don't know what to say at first. And then I kind of caught on because Nanny kept coming to like 5 or 6 different readings and she's just amazing. So I mean that was kind of cool. You can't make that up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she kind of had a message for every person too, which was interesting.
Yeah, and
Like,
that's really cool that you did each one was related.
I know. I mean, like some of them were from, Hawaii, and then we had New York, and I'm like, you can't, the last names weren't the same, so I had no idea.
Interesting.
Yeah.
They're like, this lady just won't leave me alone.
But
She keeps
but
butting in on my medium stuff. And
but
she,
she was a fantastic
awesome.
communicator, right?
Yeah,
And she had a
that's
little
cool.
thing for each person. Like
Huh.
one was to find a card that she'd written that the person didn't know about. And sure enough, after the reading, she found it. And it was this letter about, you know, like the positive things about her that she didn't know she'd written. It was super
That's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
What are some of the common misconceptions with what you do? Like, do people think you always hear like, did you know I was going to come in today and stuff like that? And
Uh,
is that some of it?
uh, well, yeah, you get that a
Yeah,
lot from the people who, have a hard time believing.
yeah,
You also get a lot of, I wish people didn't bring religion into it so much.
yeah.
That's kind of hard. I grew up Christian and it's not really something maybe that I believed in, but then it happens to you,
Mhm.
and how it's such a beautiful thing that how can that be wrong? But being judged for that
Yeah.
is kind of hard.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I guess on that subject, since you've really gotten in tune with this, do you have a different outlook on like the afterlife or what happens to us when we do die?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
just trying to think of how to explain it,
Yeah.
being Christian, you believe, you die and go to heaven, and
Mhm.
if you accept, Jesus in your heart, this kind of thing, right? Um, I still believe that there is, let's call it a heaven, right? And that our souls return to this place, and but just I don't feel like it has to be as
Definitive.
stringent. Yeah, yeah, as some people make it out to be. I think uh it's hard, I think we don't know really, right? But my from what I've seen or what I've been told, I feel like it's um a beautiful thing, returning to our self, our soul self.
And when you go to like whenever around cemeteries and all that, is there like a different feel and something like that? Do you get a little more energy there, or is that a misconception as well?
You hear both things, right? Why
Mhm.
would we choose to hang out at the cemetery?
Yeah.
But I do believe that it's they can return to wherever they kind of want to, right? So sure. Is it easier or do they come more? I don't know about that, but I'm thinking about an in-person investigation that I did as a class, a destination investigation in Port Gamble, Washington. And so they have this cemetery that's really, really old. Some of the first, settlers are buried there. And one of the assignments that I gave the students was to try to, before we got the remote view where a certain gravesite was. And I mean, gosh darn it, they all didn't get it, and they got the name, they got, dates and information. So did the spirit of that person kind of help us along? I kind of feel like they did, but I don't know if that answers your question, but I don't think they just hang out there all the time
Yeah, yeah.
wanting to haunt.
Because we just by looking into things, people are always like, yeah, I'm sure a cemetery has a ton of energy because everyone has passed away there, and I'm like, it's probably not true. Because if a spirit can go wherever it wants, why was it going to hang out with its last resting place? It's
Right.
probably going to go where it had good memories and enjoyed things, and I would think more of a childhood home than
Mhm.
a cemetery. So
Right. And sometimes we get the residual energy. So in like being like homes or something, right? Where graveyards, I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. Can you pick up something there? Absolutely. Do they hang out there? I'm thinking no, all the time.
because I lived in a house that we learned was haunted. And we kept seeing this little girl, maybe about 10 years old, in like Victorian clothing, and water would run all the time. So
Mm.
I was always thinking maybe she drowned in a bathtub or something like that and couldn't leave. Is that something that is a possibility of where they like died and they didn't want to die, they could go back and revisit that or something or
I mean, yeah, I guess we don't really know, but I
hmm
I I think some of that can also be just that residual energy of, but also, yeah, maybe it's a message, maybe this is she needs somebody to know that this is how I passed. Were you
hmm
able to look up any information on the
we could
house?
we couldn't find much, but it was just
Hmm.
weird. Like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, just faucets would run, the bathtub would run, stuff like that. And then during the day, we would just see this girl in the down the hallway in just Victorian dress, and it's just weird. And
And it
and
was
all of us,
multiple family
yeah,
members
all
as
of us
well.
saw it at different times, and finally we're like, hey, did you guys see this when we lived there? Like, yeah, everyone had seen it, and just no one really talked about it. But we ended up doing research later, didn't really find anything on it. But I mean, if it was that time too, there's a lot of things that just never got reported and
Right,
everything too. So.
right.
That was my one instance I remember as a child. It's
Yeah,
going
but it's so
going through
cool.
that. Yeah.
When you lived in California, since you're in the Visalia area, were you ever aware of a little mountain place called Johnsondale? There was
I
a
know
lake up there. There was a little camp up there.
it sounds familiar. Is it in that area?
Yeah, it's up above.
Like
I want to say it's maybe,
Springville?
yeah, maybe north of Springville and Porterville. Uh,
Okay.
there was a little tiny cemetery up there, and it was so old. And we used to go up there, and my daughter and I would clear all the gravestones and the headstones, and it was just so peaceful out there. And but it was super hard to find. But I remember it was right up by Johnsondale. It was
Oh,
just so
very
pretty there,
cool.
peaceful, nice and quiet. Never
Hmm.
felt anything weird there, but I always felt drawn to clean it for everybody once
Oh,
a year. Yeah.
yeah, that's really beautiful.
Yeah, if you ever get a chance to go back to that area, it's so pretty up there. There's a nice lake. It's really cool up there.
Oh, I'll go.
That's like the one place that I was always drawn to once a year.
Yeah, and so I totally believe that too, where
Uh-huh.
you're going to be drawn to other, some locations, or you're going to feel it. Like moving up here to Washington, it is amazing, like the energy here. Probably like Flagstaff or Sedona, right?
Sedona
Yeah.
was where I really with like that kind of psychic ability medium thing. Um, I went to Sedona as a kid and I didn't know about the whole vortex thing and all that. It wasn't like it is now where it's a, touristy area and everything. It wasn't, you didn't have to pay to go there and stuff like that. You could just go. And I just remember going to a certain spot in this water, because I'm an Aquarius, so water's always been my big thing. And I just went to this certain spot and I just felt like at peace and like nothing can hurt me. And it was just a weird experience that I've not experienced before or since.
Yeah,
I didn't
super.
even I didn't even know about that. I was too young to really know about this whole vortex thing. And later on, finding out that that was a thing, and people go there and it like clears them, and it's crazy just not knowing that and feeling that without, because you get told something, you do it, you're like, oh yeah, I felt something, just because you either A, didn't want to feel left out because everyone else was, or you just felt like you needed to because that was the thing to do there. I didn't know any of that, and so experiencing that was really cool. I just felt like I was, seeing certain things, and just it was just really, really cool experience. So
Yeah,
I
I think
love Sedona for that reason.
it's amazing. And I
Yes.
think grown-ups ruin it for kids all the time.
Yeah, and
Um,
luckily mine didn't. My dad was pretty good about ruining stuff for me as a kid, and he didn't ruin that for me, or he
oh,
just didn't
good.
know about it.
Yeah.
So
Now, I had the complete opposite the first time I visited Sedona. Of course, I was an adult.
yeah, you love Jerome, which was
I,
weird.
I like Jerome. I
Do not
I
love
like
like
Jerome.
Jerome.
I
I
love
I
the
don't.
like
energy
it.
of it. But we started in Jerome, and I felt great. No one else did that we were with. Justin was there, our daughter was there, his mom was there. Everybody else didn't like it. As soon as we got down into Sedona, I got so depressed and I could not wait to get out of there. And everybody's like, let's go to this shop. Let's go to this shop. I'm like, can we just go home? I,
Yeah.
the first time I just
Yeah,
did
'cause you
not
brought
like
something from Jerome to Sedona. That's what happened.
it. Since then, I've never had any issues with it, but that first visit, I did not like it all.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's also fascinating. Try to
The
explain
two
it.
different, yeah.
I
Well,
like
because
Jerome too, though.
yeah, well, I'm very spiritual, and like
Hmm.
if there's a lot of negative energy, it will just drain me. And I just felt drained that day. I'm like, I need to eat. I need to hydrate. Like I just felt like I'm like I need a nap, and I don't nap. And
Yeah.
just then we got to Sedona. I'm like, oh, thank God. Like I feel energetic again. It was just weird. So,
No.
and it's such a small area too. It's not like we walked a lot and we were
Right,
out. It
right.
was
Right.
Because
just
there's
all that
one
energy.
strip. Yeah.
Because that hotel's looking down at you,
Right.
Yeah.
and just all this. Yeah, it was just weird.
Yeah. And so I think, that's part of whatever you're doing, picking up psychically picking up on things, or, empathically, but also paying attention to that. Now you guys know, I mean, a lot of people know, right? But just being aware of how something feels to you and not excusing it, right? And like when I taught at juvenile hall, that was you walk into all cylinder block building, no windows, and walking into that energy with, I mean, psychopaths, predators, serial killers, and a lot of trauma. I mean, if that were to not be there anymore and someone walked into that, I'm sure you would feel some of that, still. Yeah.
Yeah, circling back to that, I read that when you were teaching at juvenile hall, that's where you learned where compassion ends and boundaries begin. Can you touch on that a little bit? I thought that was really interesting to read.
Yeah, that was hard for me because as a teacher, we want to, of course, be compassionate, and we want to, and I'm not saying I wasn't, but it was just hard for me not to want to help the kids, not to want to uh, help them to learn about what they want to do in life. What it was a lot of walking into an atmosphere like that, a lot of having to teach with your back to the wall, you know, a lot of you can't, not that you would touch the kids anyway, but not even like, a hand on the shoulder or something
Right.
like, oh, good job. None of
Yeah,
that. It was collecting pencils, so no one stabbed each other. It was a lot of trying not to be groomed by them,
yeah,
a lot of things that were foreign to me, uh, and kind of hard to believe, right?
Mhm.
Like, well, kids couldn't be this way, or that's not really what they're doing, but it is. And so I still had compassion for him. It's just had to switch my way of thinking, right?
Was there a big commonality you found with why they were where they were, that
Well,
you can speak of? If you can't speak about it,
so
don't.
in my opinion, um, I hate to, it was a lot of factors, but a
Mhm.
lot of it was lack of parenting, if you will, for many different reasons.
Mhm.
Single family, or parents were incarcerated.
Hmm.
Uh, a lot of, I mentioned the last couple of years I was in special education. A lot of kids in are incarcerated who are in special education. So they get, they drop through the cracks, or there's not support for them, or they don't want to go to school because it's hard.
Hmm.
And it's almost like once you get the ball rolling, it's hard to stop it. You just keep going. This is what you know, this is what you can do. So I think there's many different reasons, but in my opinion, it's very hard when you're 15 or 16 to survive that. You can, absolutely you can, but it's pretty difficult unless you have help or support, I believe.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now going back into the psychic cases, do you ever get any connections to high profile cases like Kristen Smart or Lacey Peterson?
Mm, yes, sometimes.
Mhm.
It'll be more the cases that uh, like I'll connect with, if that makes sense. So if it's like a mom that's gone missing and I'm a mom, it's something like that, or it's in the area where I used to live or area where I live now, or just for random reasons. But yes, I do. But like I say, it's not every case, because sometimes I just feel like, oh, I don't want, I'm not attracted to that case. But
Mhm.
yes, um, being in the Central Valley, the Lacey Peterson case, right? That was very
Right,
prominent.
and yeah, and Scott Peterson's girlfriend, was she from Visalia?
I think she was from Fresno.
Fresno. Okay, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, but that was big. And so
yeah.
that would have been one that I would have been really interested in at that time.
And then Kristen Smart, she was
Yeah,
from
Cal
Valley
Poly.
also. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and see, my sister went to Cal Poly, so right, so about the same,
That's funny.
maybe a
Yeah,
little bit before.
we used to live in San Luis Obispo.
Oh,
That's
nice.
where we met. Yeah.
San Luis Obispo.
Ah, very nice.
I was out there
Yeah.
taking care of a family member because I was born and raised out here, but there for a couple of years to take care of a family member that didn't go very well, and we ended up meeting and
Yeah.
been together since. So
And
yeah.
then moved back out here.
Yeah,
So
and
yeah, the Kristen Smart one's always been close to me because there's just no closure on it. Still, even though they have the arrest, Paul's in jail now. The father was in jail for a little bit. They just recently went back
I
and
know.
they got the warrants for the search of the yard
Mhm.
and just didn't still. But she was there at one point.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
I saw they
no
just
closure. It's crazy
Mhm.
because now it's God, is it 30 years now? 30, I think 30 years now. No closure.
Yeah, those uh I wish, there's some way to for sure get an answer every single time. Where is Kristen Smart?
And the funny thing is that at the time, Scott Peterson was on the list of people to be questioned, and he refused to go. So I've always wondered about that because him and Paul were friends.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm, yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah. You always wonder, was this like a dry run? You never know. You just never know.
Mm.
So for anyone that's wanting to get into what you're doing, how would you recommend like finding out like if because you said everyone can do it.
Mhm.
What
Yeah.
would you recommend as far as like what's the first step in learning how to do it?
So I think I was going to say a lot of things on social media to look at, but I would not fully do
Yeah,
that, right?
yeah.
Um, but looking to find kind of your people, looking to find a teacher, try a couple different teachers, because you have don't go to somebody just because everybody likes them and they say they're good. Go to somebody that you connect with, right? That you're gonna want to learn from, or a couple of different people. Explore everything. You know, I started out psychic medium, and a lot of us will have a little avenue that we go into. Some people like trance mediumship or Reiki or, whatever. For me, it was psychic investigation. So don't be afraid to try everything. It's not it's kind of like learning to play the piano, right? You don't just sit down and play the piano, this beautiful piece. You might start with chopsticks and then
Mhm.
like, hey, I'm good at chopsticks. Okay, I'm going to keep continuing and practicing. It's kind of like that. So not giving up, and you don't have to want to be a psychic medium. I have a class on, I think, Thursday where it's just how to read people,
Mm, okay.
how to your coworkers, family members, random people. So just really explore and be brave.
Okay.
And that's what I suggest.
Is aura reading part of this too?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
How do you feel about like aura readings and stuff
Oh,
like
yeah,
that?
yeah. Um,
This
I,
is this more she's a little more in not to say I'm not into this. She's just a little more educated on it than I am. So I just because there's a couple cool aura places in Sedona and I'm like, do I or don't I? And just
that's so funny because my husband and I did that, and I
Mhm.
think it was a piece of work, is what I think. He and I both got the same. How did we both get the same exact
Yeah.
aura, right?
Interesting.
And it was, and then she couldn't even explain it, and she didn't know I was a psychic medium. But I'm like, how do we both get this? The color is the same on both of ours, and we're so different. And so she said, like, for instance, the green on his meant something different than the green on mine, which can be, but anyway, I don't know if I'd recommend Sedona, but there are reputable people, right? But that is actually like how I like to start my reading. So when I make the connection with somebody, whether it's a psychic reading or a mediumship reading, I like to do this little thing where I walk them through where our souls blend together. And then I start by reading like the colors that I see around them and
Okay, so
talk
you do see that.
yeah, and
Interesting.
then talk about what that means to me, like what, what reference I get from that, and then how their soul feels to me. A lot of times I'll read for people who feel like me, like they're very, they can do it, they can do mediumship, they can do, be a psychic. They just have a lot of times it's people who can do the same thing. So they feel like me. Yeah. So I think, yeah, I think it's,
It's good if you go to the right people then.
Yeah, there's supposed to be one aura reading in Sedona that's like the top in
Yeah, because it
United
was on
States.
yeah, on Ancient Aliens
Yeah.
they travel
oh,
all these places and that was one that they suggested was Sedona. So that's why I was like, well, I want to do it, but I want to do it at the right place.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I'm sure the person makes the big difference too. So
Absolutely. This person that I was talking about was rushed,
uh-huh.
but $110 later for 15 minutes. And so use your own abilities to,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
to feel like you connect with that person. And absolutely, Sedona is going to be your perfect place to have this done. It really is.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And have you written any books?
I have not.
Okay.
Okay.
Will you be?
Well, I don't know. I
You
mean,
should. You should.
that would be like right up my alley,
Mhm.
right? Being a former English teacher, I love to write. Yeah, I mean, I actually, when I saw this, one of the questions, I started thinking, what would I write about? And then I had like four different categories. So, I guess narrowing it down to what I think people might want to read about, I
Yeah,
guess.
be interested in it for sure. So,
Absolutely. Um,
Awesome.
how has being a medium changed your life and your understanding of like the world, purpose, love?
So I think kind of what I was talking about before. Um, I keep getting reminded to slow down. It's like you just want to keep, okay, next thing, next thing, next thing, what's coming up in my life, kind of slowing down and living that moment, if that makes sense, and just accepting whatever comes in that moment. And I kind of don't like the term like, learning the lesson at that moment, but it kind of is that. Um, and taking the time, like the old saying, take the time to smell the roses or whatever it was, just especially being here in this energy here, there's so much to do within 15 minutes, So taking time to walk out in nature, because I never do that because I just want to get to the next thing. I'm rushing, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm busy. So slowing down, um, listening to yourself, really listening, not worrying about maybe what other people think. That was a hard one for me. Uh, really hard still sometimes. Um, not having to be like a people pleaser to everybody. It's your life, your soul. It's like your soul has a lot to teach you, if that makes sense, but you have to be willing to stop and slow down. Yeah.
And you said you're married. What's your husband's take on what you do?
Gosh darn it, he's better than me a lot of times.
Yeah.
Yeah, at reading people. I joke about that. He's very supportive, which when I first started doing this, I was really surprised, but he's very supportive, which I really appreciate because you do feel judged a lot sometimes, right? And sometimes it's your own family that's doing that judging. And so, it's hard. So I appreciate him being supportive.
Yeah, that counts
That,
for a
that
lot.
that's a big deal. Yeah. Um, how how would since you're good at reading people and all that, can people use that in like playing cards and gambling as well? Is that a big factor?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Do you play anything like that just to see like
I don't, but let me tell you
okay.
about my husband.
Okay, that was going to be my next
So,
one. That does he? Because he's good at reading
yeah.
people. So okay.
So when he was like little, he told me he found like this little book, like when you go to the supermarket, it's like a little you're checking out, and he read this book and it taught you how to, like when you roll the die, how to make the numbers pop up. And he was able to do that. And like he would play with his friend and be like, his friend would be like, stop doing that. You're doing double sixes. How are you doing that? And he was surprised as well. But I really, he was a kid, right? So he believed in it. And it did happen. Uh, so I do believe it's possible. I am not good at it, probably. It's a lot of practice. A lot of
Yeah.
times I will suggest taking like a deck of cards and start with, is it going to be black or red? And see how you start to feel maybe when it's red. Oh yeah, I kind of felt like a cold feeling or something. And then go for the numbers next or the suit. You can do it, but it is practice.
Is a lot of this like how magicians do illusions and stuff too, some of it, or
I don't know.
okay.
But I can see where it could be. And,
Yeah.
actually, my dad was a magician, so that's kind of an
Yeah.
interesting question. Yeah,
Okay. Because we
yeah,
watched that Penn and Teller fool us, and there's times when I'm watching card things and they cannot figure out how this person did it. I'm like,
Hmm.
there has to be some of that like psychic ability involved in this of what you were just talking about, like starting with suits and
yeah.
colors and black or red or whatever. And just curious if that is how they just get fooled. It's just someone that can just do that kind of stuff and
I
doesn't know
mean
how they're
that
doing it.
that makes sense.
Hmm.
Have you ever like seen the mental magicians?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
those drive me nuts because I don't know how they do it, right?
Yeah.
And, yeah. So I know Penn and Teller would know if that was what was being done.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think sure, why not?
Okay.
Same thing with like reading tarot, right? Or oracle cards. You're the one interpreting it. So it might be a standard meaning for all the cards, meaning for all the cards, but you might be picking up something that somebody else doesn't pick up. If well, you know that, but I mean like
Yeah.
it could be something really profound that uh because of your cards, you're touching them, you've worked with them, that kind of a thing.
Yeah. What are you doing over there?
Trying not to spill my cup. Um, how did you get involved with the Flagstaff Creepy Con?
Oh, um, I was actually on the Creepy Coffee podcast with Eddie, right? And so he was just kind enough to invite me, and I said yes, because why not? It's Flagstaff.
How did he become aware of you to be on the Creepy Coffee cast?
Oh, I belong to we both belong to a like a not really a group, but it's like a system where I can't remember what it's called, where people who have podcasts join and people who want to be on podcasts join and just
Okay.
find each other. Yeah.
Hmm.
There's a couple of
Okay.
them. I can't remember what it's called, but he found me on there. Yeah.
Nice. And what will you be doing at the event?
Well, I think I have like free reign. But I'm going to be speaking, so I'm still kind of trying to figure out what I want to speak about because I can talk for a long time, and I think I only have like a half hour or 45 minutes. So probably maybe I'll walk through a case like from start to finish, or with some questions at the end, or I don't know. I like to try to come up with something kind of fun that's kind of interactive for everybody to do. So I'm taking suggestions, but I'm not really sure yet.
I wasn't sure if like you'd be doing readings and stuff throughout the day and stuff like that as well.
Well, yeah, I am going to be doing that because I do have a vendor booth he's giving me. So
Cool.
yeah, so I'm trying to figure out also what I'm going to do. I've been
Yeah,
doing lately, like one of my new little gigs is going to like wine bars and doing, soul readings, aura readings, psychometry, teaching psychometry. So
What is
that's
that?
like the energy that you pick up off of an object.
Okay.
So psychometry for psychic investigation is like when you look at the photo
okay.
and you read the energy from the photo, but more commonly people will, it's like if you go to antique store and pick up
Hmm.
something, you're like, ooh, Um, but yeah, so actually the last one I did was in an antique store. So
Oh,
people
cool.
came and uh, I had the teacher that I am, like activities for us to do, but also going around the shop and picking up and see what energy, what things we didn't like, what things we did like. And the owner was able to validate, some of the items. So fun way to practice.
Now, speaking of antique stores, what's your feeling on mirrors holding images?
Yeah, that's a good one. I I think they can.
Hmm.
Short answer. But I also feel like it's the intent of believing that they can or believing what the energy might be able to produce or
Almost like the person looking at it's manifesting something
yes.
that, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
same thing like when you do like you see all the paranormal shows, right? When
Mhm.
they're trying to antagonize evil spirits, right?
Yeah.
Well,
If you
you're going
do
to get
that, yeah.
yeah, you're going to get the energy you put out of there. Same thing I think is as much energy as you give to it, right, is what you might get back. But it doesn't have to be negative.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, anytime I get up in the middle of the night to use the restroom, I absolutely refuse to look in the mirror in the dark. Absolutely refuse.
I'm right there with you.
I don't want to know what's there also. But like, so when I was really little, well, not super little, maybe 9 to 10, my grandma went into the bathroom and slit her throat in front of the mirror. She watched herself do it,
Oh.
and she stayed and watched until she went down. She did not die from it, but after she did pass, I was always terrified to be in that bathroom and look in
Mhm.
that mirror.
Makes sense.
And so I've always wondered, since my grandpa passed and the house was sold, I've always wondered if anyone experiences anything in that house. It would be interesting to know.
Right. And maybe that's even just part of that energy, right? Like the residual energy also could be a factor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super interesting.
Hmm. Yeah. So I've always been curious about other people's thoughts about mirrors.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. And I have a lot of my grandparents, furniture and mirrors and stuff like that too. And I guess I've never really thought about it for myself, but I do feel like things have energy in antique stores. Have you seen the mediums that go around and they say haunted or not with the items?
No.
No.
Oh, I love it. They have like a TikTok or something,
Mhm.
and three of them, and they'll go and they'll choose an item, and a lot of them are dolls that are haunted, right? And those dolls actually are creepy for me a little bit.
Same. There's
Okay.
one, we have friends that have like a ghost tour not too far from us. We're there all the time. And they acquired a doll place, and
Yeah.
that doll had some
Yeah,
crazy stories.
it's a little ghost town called Goldfield,
Oh
and
yeah.
okay.
You
Yep.
know it? Okay,
Yep.
cool.
Yep.
So
Yep.
our friend Matt does a ghost tour there.
Fear Frontier.
Yes,
Yeah.
and there's one of the old-timey photography places in the building below his bordello. and they had a father and a daughter come in once to get their pictures done, and the father wanted the girl to have this antique doll in the picture with them, and she threw a fit and she said no, she cried, I don't want anything to do with that. So finally they agreed, no, no doll. They took their picture. What showed up in the picture? That doll floating in front of them in that picture.
No.
Yes. So the photography place didn't want anything to do with the doll. And so our friend Matt acquired it. He keeps it in a suitcase and usually in the trunk of his car because his girlfriend Chloe doesn't want it in the house. And then they recently got an antique grandfather clock that they've had so much activity in the bordello since they've acquired that. The doll is super creepy, and he always says, don't look at the
Directly in the
eyes."
eyes. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah,
Yeah. Something about the dolls, right?
dolls are
Oh,
creepy, yeah.
yeah.
Especially those old ones with those, the porcelain eyes or
Yep.
yeah,
Do
creepy,
you
creepy.
do you know the name of the people that do the antique TikTok
Haunted or
thing?
not, yeah. Is it just
Oh,
called Haunted or not?
If not, just send it to us later because I definitely want to check that out.
I'll
So,
Yeah.
look it up because it
okay,
keeps
cool.
coming up for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just three girls and three mediums. It's pretty
Because
fun.
we go to antique stores probably every other weekend. So that'd be
Same.
a lot of fun. Yeah, we love antiquing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
We have some really fun
So,
ones out here. Go ahead.
just try on your own, right? Like
Yeah.
feel like you're drawn to something,
Oh yeah, there's
pick it up and just be like, huh, I don't know. Or
tell her about the picture that I said I manifested a picture
Oh yeah,
antique store.
we've been looking for like an Italian painting,
Like
uh,
Florence.
Florence or Venice, something with the canals, restaurants, because Justin's Italian, so we wanted a painting for our kitchen. And he described it. And one day we were at an antique store and he just had described it. We turned the corner and there it was, exactly what he described.
um,
It was amazing. We couldn't afford it because they wanted so much money for it.
oh
But it
darn.
was it was exactly what he was
It
looking
was
for.
weird. I'm like, that's it. Just happened.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
the last one we went to, we were drawn to another painting, and it was just kind of creepy. And we just stood there for a few minutes and looked at it, and it was a rustic wood frame. The background was completely dark, and it was a guy, like a old miner type guy, standing near a truck, wasn't it?
Yeah.
In the dark, and it's just we were drawn to it for some reason. And again, way too pricey for us, but we did want that. We were like, that's it's pretty and creepy.
Yeah.
Right. That's
Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome.
yeah,
Yeah. So that happens a lot with us when we're antiquing.
yeah.
So we totally understand and I think that's why we're drawn to it is because
Yeah.
every time we go, there's just always something that just catches our attention. And
Hmm.
some things we do get. We did get one at that flea market that was very similar to the one we saw,
Hmm.
much more reasonable price and
Reasonable
stuff,
price.
and
Yeah.
pretty much the
Yeah.
same thing. And I was like, same thing. I was like, well, if we see something like that this time, we're gonna get it if it's, because it was where we're at was a much more affordable place and all that. Sure enough,
I was
probably
just gonna
ninety
say,
percent of yeah, 90% of the one we had seen that we couldn't get. So it
yeah,
was
just
just
manifest a new price, right?
yeah, yeah,
Right.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so whatever was looking at us that day for doing that, thank you for getting it something
Yeah.
we could manage to bring home with us. And we brought a couple home. One was we're looking for something that was just a basic like
Wine related.
wine related wine bottle, and found that at the same place. And
They were both there.
uh,
Um, they had stickers on them, but a guy walked over and he's like, "Do you really like those?" Like, "Yeah, we really like those. How much for both of them?" And he knocked off like $100 total. Yeah, it was a
Wow.
great find. We were super happy. Yeah,
I get a ton of stuff. Like I got this light back here.
I like that light.
yeah,
It
it's
is
almost like a
so
UFO
UFO.
look. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's super cool. I got this little horse thing
Oh,
here.
okay, cool.
I mean, just a lot of stuff because
Mhm.
it calls to me. Do I like horses? Not necessarily, but something about that called to
Right.
me. Something about this. I thought that was so cool for 14 bucks.
Oh,
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
wow,
I
nice.
know.
Yeah, because I was going to comment on it
Mhm.
off air that I really like that lamp for some
Yeah,
reason.
they're like 250 online. I mean,
Wow.
I just like it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So,
it's It's like if we go, because we're probably going to go out antiquing later. I was like, if
Uh-huh.
we see something like that, let's grab it. That's really
I
cool.
like it a lot.
So
Yeah.
we might send you a picture of us getting one or something.
Okay, yeah, do it. Yeah.
Uh, what do you like to do in your downtime?
Um, so, I retired about 4 years ago, and thought I would have nothing to do, but gosh darn, my time gets filled up. And since we just moved here, I am like in heaven. We have all the baby deer in the yard right now. Uh,
Nice.
we have, can see the water with the ferry going by. So kind of just like sitting in my house and looking at that. I love going antique shopping, obviously. Um, I actually like doing things by myself sometimes, so exploring by myself. But there's so many different opportunities here, hiking, like I said, so anything learning, like I'm a lifelong learner, so anything I can learn more about. And of course, true crime. I'm all about true crime, so documentaries or podcasts, um, and then just kind of hanging out with my family.
Is there
Boring.
ever any days that you're just like, Stop, turn it off, stop. I don't want this today."
Yeah, for sure. A lot of days. And I think, for me, I think I don't know if that's easy, but I'm just so distracted by things that I'm not tuned in. I have to really more focus, unless it's something, really big and then it hits me. But yeah.
And you're able to go ahead and just turn it off.
Mm, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Sometimes though, like you get the repeated thoughts, and I count that as being uh whatever psychic, that just keeps. But sometimes when I'm working on a case, I'll get those. It just keeps going. I'll keep thinking about something. So that's kind of harder to stop. But for the most part,
Are there places you go that you get more activity, like just out in nature and stuff that you're like, you get a lot more energy at?
um, yes, I
Okay.
I just did an online event and I had a bunch of people that were from this area. So I had a lot of the Sasquatch experts and UFO experts. So um, I haven't really had a chance to explore because it's been winter time here. Pretty much rains here a lot, as you
Right.
know.
Lucky you.
Yeah, I
It's
do like it.
112 last 3 days.
Yeah.
So
See, and that's why we moved. I know. Um, so I'm looking forward to exploring more like that to see what I can pick up. There's just so many, yeah, cool things that you can. One of the towns that I had my destination investigation was in Port Gamble, and that is like a little independent, I guess, like city, very small. It's like one street long,
okay.
but a lot of energy, a lot of
It's probably like
history.
Globe here. Sounds like Globe out here.
Yeah, I don't know Globe. Okay, but
It's
very
one.
cool.
That
Yeah.
globe's up above Goldfield,
Okay.
Hour.
50 miles up. It's a crazy energy there.
It's just like one street, bunch of antique stores, which is always good
Yeah.
for that
And a
too.
haunted hotel.
Hmm.
Yeah.
A couple of
Mm,
A
them.
very, yeah,
Yeah.
very haunted. Yeah.
Yeah.
love me a haunted hotel.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
it's up there with like Jerome for like, woof. There's an energy here.
Yeah.
It wasn't as bad as Jerome though for me. I wasn't like as drained from it, which was weird,
Mhm.
but there's still a lot of energy there. Like
I like Jerome.
I love Jerome.
maybe Sedona then Jerome this next time.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Get everything elevated and then kind of maybe be more in the middle, just depletion and then trying to raise it back up in Sedona.
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't know why I had the opposite effect.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, because our daughter had the same one I did.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Weird.
Yeah.
All right. Our last question, since Justin's a drummer and the
Oh,
podcast is called Drumming Up Conversation, who are your favorite drummers?
yeah, that's a great question. I am going to be a dud on this. I wish. So when you asked me that question before, I'm thinking, okay, I don't even know any drummers, right? But the one, and I have to think of what his name is, that I can remember is like from Def Leppard, that drummer
Yeah.
with the one arm, right?
He
I
is the
Allen.
one said the most. Yeah,
Yep.
Rick Allen. Yep.
really
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah,
Um,
the one we've had the most for sure.
Especially being a special ed teacher, right? Like adapting, making adaptations for what you can do instead of what you can't do, right? So very inspiring. But guess what? Now I will be paying attention more to who is doing the drumming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we get a lot of Rick Allen, we get a lot of Phil Collins,
Chad Smith,
Oh,
Chad Smith from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
and Neil
Yeah,
okay.
Peart,
Neil Peart.
and Ringo.
Yeah,
Ringo's a big one too.
yeah.
So
How about for you?
mine's Neil is my all-time favorite. Neil Peart from Rush. Um, Chad Gracie, one big from Live, big inspiration to me, and we're actually really good friends now because of the podcast,
Oh,
which is
wow.
just still surreal when he'll just send me a random text and I'm like, if I went back to my 13-year-old self right now, they'd be like, yeah, right, you're an idiot. So,
Right?
I mean, I have a bunch, doing this my whole life, but Neil and Chad for sure.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
All right, and where can our listeners find you? Everything that you got going.
Yeah, so right now, my website, mediumkellykristin.com. But on Instagram, I am Third Eye Sleuth. And I do have a website, Third Eye Sleuth, as well, but I have the same things on my medium, Kelly Kristin. So that's for right now.
Awesome.
And we look super forward to meeting
Yes,
you
yeah.
at
You have to
Creepy
stop
Con.
by.
Me
Yeah,
too.
Yeah.
we're the official podcast, so we'll be set up there and we doing episodes and all that from right there. So definitely stop by and say hi to us, and we'll definitely do the same
For
with you. So
sure. Yeah, I look forward to it.
yeah, it's gonna be fun meeting everyone that we're talking to for that event.
Yeah. Yeah. And thank you so much for having me on today.
Of course, this is
Really
Really
for
great.
fun.
taking time out
Yeah,
your
Yes, yeah,
Sunday for it.
yeah. Thank you.
really
So
fun.
thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
It's fun.
Yeah,
It's a lot of
interesting.
fun. And that's more like year round. You're a little more like knowledgeable about that than I am. But it was fun to have all of them for it. So get a couple good ones in there just by being curious self.
Right.
But yeah, a lot of fun. And it was nice having a little fun with it too, as far as like, do people come in and say, did you know I was going to show up today and stuff? And it's like,
Yeah.
come on,
Or
that's ridiculous.
yeah, when we drive by a psychic and we just drive by, or like, do they know we just drove
They
by?
know our license plate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just being ridiculous because we know how ridiculous that is. It's like, no, they have to be able to focus on that. But yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. Very educational. What a
Mhm.
crazy like life as far as being like in juvenile, working with them and having that somewhat fear of with these kind of people
Right, right. Yeah.
at
Yeah.
any moment, stuff like
Mhm.
that. Or if I ask the wrong question or get the wrong this or that, it could trigger something. And
Right. Yeah.
that's scary. But
Mhm.
yeah, just fascinating. And again, like I was glad to bring up the childhood little girl that was in the Victorian dress and kind of touch on that too of, is that something that's possible? And yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You know,
And have, you know, possibly everybody has this capability.
you
It's
just have
just
to
whether
learn
you
how
can
to
hone it
bring it
in.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've always felt that, especially with the first like Sedona visit I had, with not knowing that that was a thing and just like feeling that like overwhelming of like everything's fine and
Mhm.
just like the cleansing kind of thing and that's
I wish I had that the first time we went to Sedona.
well, we
Yeah.
weren't able to go to that spot unless you pay for it. It didn't used to
Well, I
be.
mean, just the town itself.
That's weird. Yeah.
The first time, I just wanted to get out of there.
Yeah, that's weird that the kid had the same I did
Mhm.
and you had it opposite. But yeah,
You ever had a psychic?
reading no.
Oh, no, 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 not a reading, just a psychic episode where
Oh yeah.
maybe you foresaw
Oh
something.
yeah.
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 And then it happened.
The painting at the antique store.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I painted that before we saw it.
I can remember one time when I was 16 and my sister and I were going to go grocery shopping and something just maybe 10 minutes or so, I just had a little flash.
I think deja vu
Yeah.
is psychic. I wish I should have asked that.
Oh, well,
That's what
you're
I'm saying.
always
Yeah.
here.
So I'm curious.
You
I
won't
should have
meet
put the
her.
deja vu on there because I've always been curious because I get that a lot.
Yeah, in fact, with her being from and everything, did testing at Bakersfield or and walking into that auditorium, I instantly deja vu, but I'd never been there before.
Yeah, I
So
get that
yeah,
places too.
yeah.
I'm like, I feel like I've done this before? Or like a moment, and you're like, I feel like I've had this exact moment before.
I also have a lot of deja vu every time I get burned.
Mm.
When I'm cooking or anything, and just that pop and you get burned, I have a deja vu. So, and my sister's like that too. So we've always joked that maybe we were burned at the stake at some point in our
Well,
lives.
and I'll ask this when we see her too. Like I've always been terrified of like aliens and extraterrestrials and stuff, and I'm
The
curious
kid too.
about if there's anything with that. So
Hmm.
yeah, it'd be fun to meet her in person when
Yeah.
we go there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So
We'll have Matt and Chloe run the podcast while we go screw around for a little bit.
right. Or the kid. Yeah.
I actually do want to talk to Matt about that, and so
Yeah.
if Matt watch this episode,
Tag. Thank you.
might be asked prior, but I want to do it in person.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, if you guys don't have a booth and you're kind of just doing stuff, if you want to come over and run it for a few minutes or a little while, or we can go run off and have a little fun. For it.
They're the perfect people to do it because they both have very good public presence.
And they just
Yeah.
know how to do this.
Yeah,
They've done it
for
enough
sure.
that-
Yeah.
yeah, and they've been on ours enough that they should have an idea. So
Mhm.
yeah, cool.
Cool. All right. Intro and outro music is provided by Arizona prog metal band Temporal Displacement. You can get their music everywhere you listen to your favorite music. But maybe in the future, be on the lookout for something new, right? Yep. And we'll keep everybody informed with that.
Once
Yeah.
it gets to
Mhm.
becoming a thing, we'll
Yep.
talk more about it. Yeah.
You can email us at drummingupconversation@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Drumming Up Conversation, and on X, Drum Conversing. You can listen to our audio episodes on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you listen to your favorite episodes. You can watch our video version on YouTube. Don't forget to do all the good
Get the
things.
good things.
Yes, like, subscribe, rate, review, 5 stars, tell a friend. We appreciate that. It helps us out tremendously.
And get tickets to the event. This is going to be a
Tickets to
lot
the
of
event.
fun. If you have not got tickets yet, get
Or if you
them.
didn't win tickets.
Or if you didn't win
Yeah.
tickets.
Yep.
And we're going to be putting the link to the tickets in all of our episodes as well.
This event is going to be huge. And I think it's going to go on for a few years too.
Yes, so let's make the first year successful so we
Yep.
can make the
And
next
epic.
25 successful.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
for Drumming Up Conversation, I'm Justin Wood.
I'm Andrea Wood.
No mercy.
Drumming up conversation.